Tart, sweet, a soft yet decadent custard, a short crust-like crumb base complemented with a lemon berry custard, topped with a currant, mirror-like glaze, with a light dusting of powdered sugar, brings home what nature hasn't: the taste of spring. Hello shepherds, welcome back, and if you're new here, hello! This is where we talk all things sheepy. My name's Megan, and today we're hit with yet another blizzard. People are posting their spring gardens or autumn harvests, whereas the flock and I have a few more months till our last snow day. Are you feeling it too, or are you living in another season? So in celebration of spring somewhere, I thought nothing brightens the spirit than a berry lemonade, but in bar form. Let's get started with baking our crust. We're going to preheat our oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 177 degrees Celsius and prepare our dish with a parchment paper. Also, I'm using some butter to grease my pan as an extra insurance in case of spillage later on. Spraying or brushing with an oil works too. This beautiful lump wrapped in paper is some homemade sheep's butter. Even though they're grass-fed, sheep's butter, like goat butter, is naturally pale because they're efficient. They metabolize beta-carotene so that it prevents it from accumulating and yellowing their milk fats, as well as other fats. So instead of a yellow-hued butter fat, we get this paler butter. Okay, so in a bowl, we're going to add 1 cup or 120 grams of flour, 1/4 of a teaspoon or 2 grams of salt, 1/4 of a cup to 28 grams of powdered or confectioner's sugar, 8 tablespoons, or in our case, 113 grams of unsalted butter, chilled, half a teaspoon or 1 gram of lemon zest. If you don't have any lemon zest on hand, that's okay. I find this recipe can really take a lot of zest to bring out that flavor. So maybe if you have any lemon essence, that might help in adding into the filling. And next time you buy lemons and making sure that the rinds are safe to eat, I like to zest them and then dry it for later use. Okay, so let's cut our butter in. I'm using an old pie cutter-like thing, and this dough will be dry, but the filling will slowly soften the crust overnight. The dough will be crumbly or sandy in texture. Also, this is a sweet butter, but if you want to use a cultured butter, it'll add more nuance or depth of flavor to your crust. Once our crust is well combined, we're going to press our dough into our pan. It really helps to press the dough a little thickly, so maybe your smallest pinky nail thick, and then also up the side some. And to even out the crust, I'm using our broken measuring cup to press down firmly to flatten and even the base. If you find your dough a little soft or sticky, it does help to chill the dough after pressing it into the pan in the fridge for like 10 minutes or so before baking. And then it's off to bake for around 30 minutes or until it's a lightly golden, ghostly pale brown. Just the very edges of the crust with a touch of color. While the crust is baking, let's go ahead and work on the filling. I'm using currants with a touch of raspberries. That's what I have on hand at the moment, and they're pretty tart. But if you want to use a lighter flavor berry like strawberries, I highly recommend adding some essence or extract or crumbled freeze-dried berries into the filling as well, just because some of that flavor can really get lost in the sauce. So in our large bowl, let's add our sugar. About 1 cup plus 2 tablespoons or 223 grams of sugar. And for eggs, I'm using a combination of water chickens and land chickens. So let's go ahead and whip this up. Farm eggs can be so random, but it's okay, we work with what we got. Meanwhile, I'm heating up these berries to not only thaw them, but also help them release their juices, so they'll mash up easier later on. Also, let's pull out our crust from the oven. I am pretty slow at cooking, so our crust is already done, so let's set it aside to cool slightly, and back to the berries. I'm using 2/3 of a cup or several handfuls. Whatever you have on hand is good though. Once our berries are warmed through and soft, we're going to transfer them into a strainer and mash away. I'm saving the mash for the chickens. The sheep would probably enjoy it too, really, but for now we're going to add our lemon juice into our berry juice until we reach our total weight of 152 grams or 1/3 of a cup of juice. And then add in around half a teaspoon of lemon peel. We'll also stir this up well and add in our 3 tablespoons or 21 grams of powdered sugar if you want some added sweetness, 1/4 of a cup or 30 grams of flour, 1/8 of a teaspoon or pinch of salt, and then stir all well and combined. If you have the time, it helps to let the filling set and let those bubbles rise up and pop for about like 15 minutes. I'm in a pinch of time, so we're gonna pour all of this well-combined purple filling into our slightly, possibly tepid, warm crust. Then straight to the oven to bake for a minimum of 30 to 45 minutes or until set. Which means when I jiggle it, I want our filling to be firm on the edges and relatively firm in the center. As it is now, our bars are good to go with a dusting of powdered sugar. But for fun, I wanted to add an extra pop of flavor and color through the berry glaze. So let's set this pan to cool a bit before popping it in the fridge to cool even better. And then get started on our glaze. I've washed all of our dishes again, so let's go ahead and bloom our gelatin in some leftover juice from before. But also 1 to 2 tablespoons of water works really well too if you have that on hand. So let's go ahead and sprinkle our gelatin over our water or juice in our bowl and set it aside to bloom. And then let's thaw some more berries and then juice some, just like before. Once our berries are warmed through and bursting, we're going to mash them up. From this batch, I ended up yielding around 100 grams of juice, and so I'm adding water into our juice to even it out to 150 grams of liquids total for a juice water mix. So in our hot pan, I added 135 grams of sugar, as well as our 150 grams of juice water mix, stirring it often so our sugar dissolves and our mix is bubbly and boiling. And then we're going to very carefully add some of our boiling sugar juice water to our gelatin. My bowl wasn't big enough, so I melted the gelatin down some with some of our boiling liquid, then added it back into my bigger container and then stirred it all together until everything fully dissolved. I really want to cool this down pretty quickly, so in order to keep the skin from forming, we're going to stir it occasionally, and then we're going to transfer our glazing container into a bowl of ice. But right now I have more snow than ice, so I'm going to use that. Plus, it's pretty. The way the snow sparkles kind of makes you forget how it's been several months since you've seen grass. What is grass even? Okay, so I wanted to see if I could push it. Spoiler, I couldn't. But the bars are best cut when they're fully chilled. Mine are not. They're mostly chilled. So I'm ever so gently taking them out. It's cracking, but it's okay. I'm going to start to slowly drizzle our chilled berry glaze on top. I'm a bit sad it looks like March in bar form, but once everything cools, we'll give it our final touches. Slice and eat. So let's cut out a heart from a piece of index paper to make our sugar stencil. I'm using powdered sugar, but if you want a sugar that keeps better, there's non-melting powdered specialty sugars. If you're using regular confectioner's sugar, or if you're making this for a potluck, I recommend powdering it as a last step and then adding the parchment paper between layers of the bars when stacking it in the container. Okay, so let's bite into this. You know I love a good pie crust. It's buttery, it's firm with a good bite, but slices easily. The filling is soft and smooth. There's hints of lemons, and the currants blend really well with the tartness of the lemons. It's sweet enough to go with a good coffee, so if you like more tartness, I'd really hold back on some of that sugar. I also like how the edge of the bars are ever so slightly crispy, but that's more from the sloping pan that caused some uneven cooking effect. So my family members had said that it's good, but it could use some more lemon flavor. And I agree, it can definitely handle some more lemon zest or flavoring if you want a stronger, more lemon flavor forward rather than berry flavor forward. I try to make this bar recipe so it can work with many types of berries. So let me know if you end up making a berry lemonade bar and with what berries, if any. I hope you really enjoyed the video and have a good start to your month. And drop a berry emoji of your favorite berry if you've made it this far. And don't forget an extra special thank you. I appreciate you. And if you enjoyed diving into the sheepy side of the dairy world, hit that subscribe button and the bell where we explore sheep-focused lifestyle every week. Until next time, stay soft, stay fluffy, and stay true to you. Ta-tas.